Charles, how important is content discovery to pay TV operators, especially as they now embrace content from a much wider range of sources than previously?
So Stuart, content discovery becomes one of the fundamental pieces of the equation and really is very important to the pay TV operator as they start to embrace those other content sources. And it's one of the areas that we at Rovi really focus around. As they bring in these new content, the customer themselves and the consumer wants to be able to search and discover content from all across the breadth of content that's available. And so the pay TV operator really needs to remain what I'd call that brand in the hand. They need to be able to have all of that content in their space, and that's one of the areas where Rovi is really focused around over the last few years.
Yeah, great. Metadata obviously is one of the key elements of this. How central is metadata to providing useful search, and how challenging is it to aggregate that metadata from a wide range of sources into one place?
Yeah, so metadata really is the key basis of that. Without metadata, you really can't fuel any kind of content and discovery experience. And so Rovi has a rich heritage in metadata. It goes back over 60 years, back to the days of the very, very first TV guides. And currently now we cover around about over 70 countries with really rich data around TV, video, music, games and books. And one of the things we really find is that you have to be able to take that content, you have to be able to standardise it and normalise it and provide this common ID space. And that's what we do. We have around 300 editors worldwide, and we use them to look at content, take that content in, but more importantly we then layer on top of that our machine learning and crucially something that we call the Rovi Knowledge Graph engine, which really allows you to be able to have that view of content across the whole breadth of it in a way that's really very similar across all of the sources.
Yeah. Pay TV operators obviously want to make money from stuff. How can they make money from content search? Are there opportunities there that are monetizable?
Yeah, so obviously being able to monetize the service is crucially important. And it's one of the areas that we also focus on at Rovi. Aside to our content discovery, we also focus around monetization and helping the operator to do that. One of the areas is through, for instance, our analytics products, where take something like our operator insights product that allows an operator to take their return path data, be able to analyze that, and be able to do things, simple things, like be able to see if a customer is likely to churn off, and then to be able to offer them ways to help them to keep them within the service. But also in the search and discovery space, you need to be able to help people to understand the value of the content they've got. So we can help people with that. We can apply their business rules to it to make sure that what's important to each individual business comes to the fore, but allows them to enable their customers to be able to understand the value of what they already take.
Now we hear more and more about the user experience as a way pay TV operators differentiate themselves. What conclusions has Rovi drawn about the optimal user experience, especially when it comes to navigating through content?
Yeah, I think the one thing that we really see now and we're really clear about is that the user experience needs to be immersive, it needs to be beautiful, and it needs to operate and function quickly and allow the customer to be able to get to that content that they want to get to as simply as possible. So products like our Fan TV product that's currently rolling out available on the Time Warner network in the US, you'll see very innovative touch remote control, no buttons on it. It's very much like just swiping across on your mobile phone, gestures that people are very used to. But again, does that in a way that's beautiful on the screen and very visually rich, very entertaining, and allows customers to have the kind of experience with their pay TV operator that they've become used to on other devices now. And then layering on top of that, things like conversation services that really open up a new way of discovery through voice interaction, and taking voice to the next level above where we see it today.
Yeah. So you mentioned conversational search. What other tools and technologies are in the pipeline, and what difference do you think that's going to make to the user experience going forward?
So at Rovi, one of the things we're about is actually delivering a lot of these technologies now. They're already available to our customers. And so obviously we talked about conversational search, but things like the Fan TV interface that's already rolling out across Time Warner footprint in the US. But talking about conversational services particularly, and the power of the Rovi Knowledge Graph engine that underlies that, being able to do things that in the past have been incredibly difficult, even with a remote control, and making that incredibly simple, as though you're having a conversation with your partner on the settee in the living room, or you're talking to your colleague at work over a coffee. Being able to not have to understand or think about what you want to say and the type of content you're looking for. Just be able to think, well, what was that movie where he said, "Show me the money," and we know it's Jerry Maguire. Or thinking, oh, there's that film about a hotel in India and it's got that lady who was M in Skyfall. You don't know that you can't remember she's Judi Dench, but us being able to tell you that that's Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, it really takes the power of what we've done with the knowledge graph and those 100 million smart tags across those 100,000 sources, and crucially also adjusting the relevancy and the weighting in real time so that you can extend outside of that 14-day window or that 1,000 item VOD catalogue into the user's real world and really be able to put them in the context of where they are and what they're doing. So we think that those kind of technologies will really start to advance, and certainly the conversation side, again, we're rolling out with Dish in the US. It's a real next step in that discovery experience.
Now, finally, we're here at TV Connect. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're specifically highlighting here and what other plans and projects you have lined up for the year ahead?
Yeah, so here at TV Connect, we're majoring around our metadata, search and discovery, the Rovi knowledge graph engine, and the conversation services. But we're also showing our Fan TV user interface and application, the latest version of our Rovi Guide CE, which is also now powered by the knowledge graph. And then we've also got representation from our global services team, which allows people to be able to help them to implement. And then we've also, from our new ventures team, got some interesting demonstrations around content recognition and being able to recognise content and be able to get the customer to the right content.
Great. Charles, thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Stuart.